The slogan is sell in May and walk away. Well, can we walk away? This year is a very peculiar year in terms of the way the markets are behaving. If you look, basically they're going nowhere. And there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty about the markets, and that has been unusually curious because everybody's got a strong opinion in both directions. So, what do we think is going to happen next? Well, we said the market would go down in May. We said it would start around the 1st or 2nd of the month. It had a high on the 1st, started down on the 2nd. And then we're still expecting a decline in May further into the late part of the month and also possibly continuing until June 4th. So that's the short-term story. Right at the moment, you notice there was a huge rally on Friday. It turned out to be an eclipse day on the 5th of May, on Cinco de Mayo. And that sharp rally, though, has happened 17 months in a row if you knew where to look. Turned out when the moon was conjunct with the south node of the moon, when the moon ran into ketu, it has done this every month for the last 3 years. 96% of the time you get a rally. And if you chose to go for 80 S&P points, you would have been able to take 80 S&P points or hold for the 2 weeks until the moon gets to its opposite pole. So if you hold for 2 weeks or you get $4,000 profit, either way, it happened 96% of the time. However, what next? That bounce often is followed by a further decline, and that's where we're at now. We're thinking starting the end of this week or possibly the 15th of May, there'll be the final kind of strength for the month, and that it will fall down into the late part of the month, as we've described, and is oftentimes a low around the 24th of May and also potentially around the 4th of June, okay? And then we're expecting a rally, okay? Depending upon the weakness in May will determine whether or not the rally over the summer is huge or small, or it continues in this nauseating range between 4,200 and 3,900, which has been going on since most of the year, all right? So our particular emphasis here is on you getting the tools that you need to cut through the uncertainty, the jungle of noise and confusion around this market. And we want to teach you how to forecast. So we're going to have another course, a forecasting course, starting, I believe, the 1st or 2nd of June. And we've had great results from our prior courses. And our students are making forecasts. And they're walking away with money. And they're understanding what the cycles are really doing and where they're likely to go next. All right? So consider this. We're in a very unusual market condition. This Jupiter-Rahu conjunction in the sign of Aries hasn't happened since 1929, but the other planets are not exactly in the same places they were then. So we can expect a sharp break probably in the 4th quarter in September, October, and another sharp break we're looking for early 2024, from January through March of 2024. It's interesting also, there's a 120-year cycle in the market. We haven't talked about it in a while. It's 2 times 60, and it is real. And the market pivot dates have been exactly correct, ongoing for about 1.5 years now. And it called for a high in May and a trend down until mid-October. We may not see a trend down this time. We may see a bounce over the summer followed by a crash or some variation that's different than that. But the pivot dates there agree with our forecasts, which is basically down May, up June, down July into August, a rally until Labor Day, and a decline into middle October, followed by a rally to the end of the year and a potential huge decline January, February, March of 2024. If that's not a mouthful, I don't know what is. We love the fact that you give us a thumbs up, and we're really pleased to have the students coming forward to learn this profound forecasting technology, which I learned from great masters, and which I think you have a right to know. All righty. Take care.